Hello, everybody. It's the TV Optimist. Why is this so slow? Oh, and the lights off too. Oh shit. It's the TV Optimist here, talking about Death Note, my first anime ever. First anime review as well. I'm one of those guys that claims to love anime without having seen a full anime. The shows that I watched were Case Closed, Inuyasha, and Full Metal Alchemist, like true Japanese made anime, but I hadn't seen them from beginning to end. Really wanted to, especially with Inuyasha and Case Closed. Um, I guess all three of them I really was into. So when I was requested Death Note, I had heard a little bit about it, knew kind of like the synopsis, the basic plot of what the rules were and everything. So was excited to finally be able to call myself a fucking weeboo piece of shit, and actually, um, I just got to see what this was, what it entailed, what it was all about. For those that don't know, and it's based on a manga series as well. Let me go to the fucking anime. It's the one? No? Is it really seriously not gonna fucking direct me to the anime? There we go. Um, so I was like, okay, do we split this up? Like, how does this work? I don't know how anime works. 9 times out of 10, there aren't really seasons. I guess there are now. Like there's Attack on Titan season one, two, but most of the time, anime is just one long continuous run. American audiences, they like to split that shit up into seasons one and two, based on like for instance, there's two halves to Death Note. There's the first half, which is the one that I prefer, and I've seen a lot of other fans prefer the first season as well to the second or first half, the second half. When they have like the fucking heavy death metal Japanese intro, which is just like very off-putting. The first, I don't even remember the first one, but it's so subtle and it works so well. I have seen both dub and sub. Um, I don't really prefer either one. If gun to head, I'd have to pick sub. I like the subtitles. Love the Japanese voice acting. Dub isn't too bad, but sometimes it can be very cheesy. It doesn't change too much. Like the dub versus sub argument only works in the sense where dubs really change shit. That's like if like when I come up to I want to really review Ghost Hunter. I think that's what the show's called. Which bombed in Japan. But when it came to America, they were like, "Oh, since it was such a fucking bomb, let's just change this into a huge like comedy." It was very serious in Japan, and then in America, we made it super comedic. Fucking lot of racist jokes and shit. Like you have to look it up. It's really funny. Back to the Death Note though. The story is of a high school student named Light Yagami. Um, just truly the perfect epitome of what a teenager thinks they are, but he actually is. Like a lot of teenagers are like, "Oh, I'm so emotional, emo, and oh, I'm so, oh me, oh my life's so hard," and like, and I think by acting that way, like all emotional, people think I'm cool, but I'm not. I'm just a whiny dickbag. This dude's actually fucking cool. Like he's what an emotional teenager thinks they look like when they're acting all whiny. He's just like I don't care. I don't give a fuck about anything. The first episode, you just I don't give a fuck about anything. Huh? What's this book on the ground? Oh, Death Note, whatever. And he goes home and he's just like, huh, that's funny. There's rules and shit in there. Oh yeah, there's oh wow, how cool, how quaint. There's rules. Oh, you write down someone's name in the death note and they die. Oh, that's fun. How rich. Oh wow. You know, he happens to have the TV on to crime. He's like, I fucking hate criminals. I just hate scum of this earth. Oh, just wish there was a way to. Oh, the death note. You know, this guy's on trial. He's probably gonna get away scot free or just do jail time. He should die. He should die. His name's right there. I wonder if shits and giggles writes his name down. There we go. And just like, and it says in the rules, there's a bunch of rules, but in the rules it states like after 5 minutes, I think it is, then the person dies. So he's just watching TV. It's a live broadcast. He's just like, it's not gonna happen. But what if? And he's just like, boom, the guy dies of a heart attack, just clutches his chest and falls over. He's like, he's fucking Japanese shit. Like, oh shit, like, it can't be. Like, and then there is Ryuk. We introduced the death god, the Shinigami, named Ryuk. Creepy motherfucker. If you've seen anything Death Note related, you see Light Yagami and that fucking terrifying face behind him. And I think we were introduced to him first. He's in the Shinigami world, and he's not really doing anything. Shinigami don't have anything like to look forward to, and they have those books, the Death Notes, that they just pass down every once in a while just to make shit interesting. Um, and he drops his, and then when Light Yagami picks it up, he can see Light. Light can't see him until he jots it down, and then, or I guess when you touch the note, then you can see Ryuk, but he doesn't take notice of him immediately, and Ryuk doesn't make himself known until he uses it. And he's like, "Wow, great job!" And he's like, "Oh fuck!" He's like, "Oh my god!" Like, shit. And then they form a friendship, a very uh cautiously optimistic friendship. Ryuk is like, "I fucking don't care that you're doing this. It's really amusing to me. I love humans. I love how unpredictable they are, and you're one of the most fascinating because of you actually like looked at." And then he starts noticing that he's writing down all of these fucking names, just so many fucking names down the list of all of these criminals, and they just start all dying in mysterious ways. Now we've got a mysterious serial killer on our hands. The police chief, what the fuck is his name? There's Light Yagami, there's Ryuk. Interpol comes out. Uh, and he ends up calling himself Kira. Soichiro is the police officer. His name's Soichiro, and we see Soichiro, and he like in the first couple episodes, and he's just like, "What the fuck is going on?" And he's with his police, and then he goes home. I was like, fucking mind blown because Soichiro is Soichiro Yagami, Light's father. Fuck, and so really close, like the killer is here. He's killing bad people. Um, but he calls himself the god of this world. He is a death. He sees himself as a death god, and a bringer of justice, where the justice system is failing everybody because they're just jailing these people when they should fucking perish, is what Light feels. But he goes kind of psycho with it, and that's what I'm saying. When he's writing all these names down, he's writing ways that they die. You can also, and Ryuk's like, interesting. It doesn't say anywhere that you can write how they can die. So how the fuck? Like, I don't think it's in the rules, or he actually reads, like, really reads the rules, and you can actually determine how they die. They kill themselves. They make it look like a suicide. Oh, they do it this way. They do it that way because it looks really suspicious if they're all dying from heart attacks. If you just leave them alone, they die of a heart attack. Just write their name down. So he goes ham with this fucking man. Light is he's such a great protagonist. Like, just seeing his descent into madness, into genius and madness. Um, and the police are trying to figure out his dad. He can track everything. And then that brings us to L, I believe. Yeah, Ray Pin Bar. Um, yeah, there's this new guy, L, and he having played right into. Yeah, so L, he tries to keep his identity a secret. He's just a spoken voice at first, like it's translated, and then he has a guy show up on TV acting as L, like, I'm L, I'm showing my face to the world, and if you can determine their face, if you can see who they are, and he says, "This is my real name, so and so and so and so." So he needs a name to the face. He can't just have the face, and he can't just have the name. He has to have both, I believe, is how the rules work. So he has a face now, and he has the real name of L. So he puts it down. That guy dies. He's like, "Yep, L's eliminated. What a dumbass." And then L's like, "Congratulations!" Like in his chain, his fucking master voice. Congratulations, you played right into my hands. Now I know that you're in Japan, and I know that this and this and this because this is a broadcast. It's only in Japan. It's like he's like, "Fuck!" Now he's whittled it down to in Japan, in I believe Tokyo. Fuck. So now like it's a great mental chess game between Light and L. And L is is very weird. When he finally introduced himself, very weird, pale, like kid. I think he's a kid. Weird pale guy. How he sits sometimes. He's always obsessed with eating and eating a bunch of food and shit, especially sweets. So and then they meet each other, and then L's like, "I think you're the killer." To like straight up to Light, I think you're the killer, and Light's like, "Yeah, sure, yeah, the son of a police chief." He's like, "I don't know, I just feel like it's you," and he's like, "Well, what if I told you it was me? Like, what if? Let's play what if." And then kind of like they kind of play with each other, and he's like, "It was a test, but now I'm more suspicious of you." It's like it's so awesome to see the middle chest. Spoiler alert, because I implore everybody to watch this show before I continue on. Um, Midway through the show, I'm just talking about the really big important moments too. So please, please watch the series first. And if you've seen the Netflix movie and you haven't seen this series yet, and you feel like because the movie wasn't to your liking, fuck that movie. Watch this series because it's so fucking good. It's my favorite anime. I have seen more anime after that, after the show. So the fact that it's still my favorite of all time, beating Case Closed, because Case Closed was like the one that I was really into, even though I didn't see every episode. But Death Note has remained my favorite. So I implore you to please, please watch this show. Anyway, Saving Hope, or it keeps going on, and um, L has concluded that Light is Kira. He calls himself Kira. I don't know if I already mentioned that, which is killer, but that's how they pronounce it, and it's Kira. Um, or I think it means killer, but it just sounds like it's phonetic. Some Japanese words and shit, but it's Kira, killer, which means killer. He's concluded that Light is Kira, but it's way too late for him. So like, there's the last episode with L, and he washes Light's feet, which is like a symbol of like forgiveness. Like he's washing his feet. It's kind of like it's a biblical reference or some shit. I forgot, but it's like he knows that he's gonna die, and then he dies. It's like shit. And Light ends up joining the investigation. I believe he joins the investigation before, but then he graduates from high school. After that, like some years have passed. It might have been, I don't think it's 10, but years have passed after that. After L's death, and the Kira cases kind of go down. There's a whole portion of there's like this girl Mia. She's a pop idol. She falls in love with Light. There's another Death God. There's another Death Note. There's even another Death Note. Like there's a bunch of shit that comes into play. The second half is pretty fucking weak. The fucking death metal intro, and now Light is like police chief. Oh, his dad. He kills his dad, I believe, which allows him to move up the ranks. And so now he's really in a secure place. He's mourning his father. Damn Kira, but he's not exactly like against Kira's actions, which really puts like suspicion on him. But he's police chief. I mean, how can he be Kira? How can this high school kid, be Kira? But it is kind of suspicious that like there's a lot of moments like, whoa. But he gains all their trust basically. And in the second half, who's the fucking new guy? It's L's successor. Um, L's successor. L's successor. Near. So there's a bunch of like, there's Near, and he's like in the same school that L was in. Like they have like the same kind of upbringing. Near is basically L 2.0. And what's very irritating is L is such a genius. This kid Near is younger than him and surpasses him mentally somehow. Because he's actually like been paying attention more. I don't know, but because of the plot, like the plot line, and they introduced like two other characters that really, who gives a fuck. But Near is like I know it's light, I know this, I know that, like immediately, like fucking immediately, and then he traps Light, and he ends up revealing like this. It's a finale. He ends up revealing to everybody that Light is Kira, and Light is just like arguing. It's like no, it's not me, it's not me. And but then he's like somehow he gets him to admit that it is him in front of everybody. He's like, fine, whatever, I'm a god and I've helped this world. And it's kind of like a Walter White moment where this you got what you wanted. You're in a position of power. You could have just stopped, but you kept going when you should have fucking stopped. You fucking should have you should have crapped out, cashed out, whatever. You should have just folded. You should have been done. But you didn't. You fucking kept going. So he ends up fucking dying. And it's like crazy, like gunfire, blah, 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 blasting them up. And then Rhea writes Light's name down, so he dies of cardiac arrest without having to be arrested. Like they were gonna arrest him. I'm pretty sure they light him up, and then he's just like walking around because they're trying to capture him, and then he dies of cardiac arrest. And we see like a final like ending. Like the last panel is fucking L, his outline and shit, welcoming him to the afterlife, kind of, or just standing there and like, I ended up winning technically. I lost, I died, but I still got what I wanted. But even with that weak second half, because there's a lot of like tedium, very like very just like I get it, and yeah, Near is so amazing. Yeah, like he's like white haired, a younger white haired L. We didn't. Why didn't you just have L win? You needed to give us a shocking death. Why do we have this? And that could have been the manga. That could have been what was going on in there. But I still fucking love the show. I think it's amazing from start to finish. There have been other um, anime films that are like recaps of what's been going on and kind of like continuations. Even these films act as like continuations, and then there's the fucking they made two live action adaptations. I think they made a live action adaptation. Um, yeah, Death Note, Relight, Visions of a God. Death Note, Relight 2, L's Successors. I think that's it. Oh, TV special and films. No, I mean, yeah, that's it. So, but they did adapt it again into like, I think there was one Japanese film. There might have been a sequel to that film. And then there's the Netflix adaptation, which I will talk about. The Netflix adaptation. I do want to watch the Japanese adaptation to see how they did. Um, but I will talk about that because I did watch the Netflix one. I was super pumped for it, and yeah, I'll get into it. But this series is fucking good, so fucking good. Thank you so much to Nix Armendariz on a roll with these fucking shows, man. She still holds the record for most requests, film, TV, all of it. Like I have to look up the actual number, but it's like 100 and something, 120, 130. Because all she did, and she was just like, "Hey, I request all of these. I request all of this." They look, I have like a fucking mountain of requests. I'm just like, "Thank you, but fuck, like, can't keep up with this shit." But yes, thank you so much. This anime was life changing. It was so good to watch every fucking episode. I think they're each, I don't know if they're hour long episodes, but they're fucking, are they long? I don't even remember, but they're worth it. Um, but thank you guys so much for watching this, and I will see you next time.